Hey, how you doing? This is Neil, the art instructor at masterpaintingnow.com and also the best-selling author of How to Draw Awesome Figures. So, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to draw an exaggerated face of someone holding their breath. Now, this right here is not a good example because, one, I didn't draw it, but I have my comic artist that does my comic. That way I can just focus on, writing it, and I don't have time to really draw it anymore. And I wanted this panel was specifically supposed to be her holding her breath in an exaggerated manner. And as you can see, that doesn't look at all like she's holding her breath from an exaggerated manner. And so I just want to do some quick sketches just to show you how to achieve that look, and then I'll show you the final result to come up with. Right, so first thing is we need to have some sort of at least basic sketch down here of, hold on, something's not right with my, okay, there it goes. I'm not sure why I was doing that. Alright, so let's use a smaller size brush here. We'll start with drawing just a basic idea of the head here. I guess she's going to be kind of in 3/4 view, just I don't feel like redrawing the whole entire body and everything. So I just kind of, get a general idea of how the 3/4 head looks first. And then from there I add on everything. Now what I want is I want big eyes. So I want her eyes open large. Want her eyebrows open big. We don't have to have it this 3/4 view as much, but anyway, this is just to give an idea. Now we know that when someone puckers to their face, we have a crease in the right here, right? And then obviously the cheeks are gonna blow out here. So this is where we know the cheeks are gonna blow out, and then they're gonna blow out over here as well, right? But that's where the cheeks are. Then you have the chin. So it's not like the chin blows out. The chin still remains the same, right? So all that remains the same. This right here is what really changes. Kind of want to put her ear back where it's going to be already, where naturally the ear would fall, and then we can really exaggerate this. So this right here would just be, it's not too exaggerated, but it's somewhat exaggerated. And then how you draw the mouth too, I think can convey this. So you can kind of do this kind of almost like a kissy face. You can also do more of a straight, straight face, like they're, but it looks like they're holding their breath, right? So that's the basic idea. Now it shouldn't have been that hard to draw for someone that, would be experienced in drawing this kind of stuff. So again, I want the eyes to come all the way out to the edge of the face here. And then it's just a matter of, adding the character's likeness, which, I think that's one of the easier parts after you have the face. Now, generally, yeah, when they're making a crazy face like this, they're not going to totally look like themselves, and neither will you if you make this crazy face and then take a picture of yourself. So, something to keep in mind. When I have a little bit thinner neck in my comic book, she has a pretty thin neck, so. But having that little line right there, that really sells and helps it. You can also push up the eyelid right here and right there like that to really look like, maybe even right there like that. Now it depends on how many lines you want to add and how you want it to look in the end. Now you can really exaggerate this and make it where she's really puffing out her cheeks. For example, let's say, but mainly once you know how to draw a face, it's just taking the cheeks and really puffing them out, because we know where the cheeks lie. And if you're not sure where to draw a face, just search my channel for how to draw a face, or go to my website, masterpaintingnow.com, and I have tutorials on there. But you can also search my YouTube channel. You can really just puff this out bigger. This right here pretty much stays the same. You can really pull this out like this, and just, that's like crazy look. And I wanted to actually even, maybe have a couple like, like I'm like making her, she's really like, and you can even have like lines way out here just to kind of express the fact that, I'm not happy. And then give her small, tiny pupils. And this is where you can like mess around. You don't have to stay so literal to your character. So you can kind of take a cue from manga and how they kind of get really crazy with their characters sometimes. All right, so far it's still kind of just sketchy. We're just kind of trying to fill out. That's a little too thick of a line. Might even show, the edge of the eyeball there and there if you wanted to, like that. Then I like to just kind of, we're going to just draw the eyebrows coming up here, like so. Amazing. See, and you can even maybe add just a little circle here. Kind of show like, she's like really trying hard to keep that air in. And then it's just a matter of drawing her hair. So Skyla's hair, this is from my comic book, so Skyla's hair kind of goes like this. She has like this big, I've always liked this look, so I'm just gonna kind of have it. I don't want it to block her. Actually, I don't think I want it falling over that much. So let's see. Let's go back to eraser here and pick a big eraser. I think I'm gonna have it come down right here like this. There we go. Now that's like super exaggerated, but you get the idea that she's like really, I want it to be really exaggerated. I wanted the whole point, that's the whole point. I wrote it to be exaggerated. In the page it was like, I want her holding her breath in some very cartoon fashion where it's very exaggerated. Maybe I should have been even more clear and said I wanted it nice and puffy and all that. I don't know. But it's alright, I also wanted her face to be slopped down in the food after she passed out. And then when she, the last panel, I wanted her to have her food on face, but that's just too much redrawing on my part. I don't have time for that. So anyway, that right there is basically what I would go with to have that kind of exaggerated look. And that's pretty much it. From there, it's just a matter of inking over it and making it look like his style. Although my style, I like using more rougher brushes, and I like that different kind of look. So for those that are interested, I'll do a quick inking. I think this is how I want her to look. I'm pretty sure this is. Now, depending on how good you are at drawing in general, especially like inking and stuff like that, then you might not have to really do much of your sketching at this stage. That is, the more. Oh, that's right, she's an elf, so what am I doing here? Her ears actually come more out like this. He never quite draws her ears right, but that's alright. When you pay someone to do your work for you for especially relatively inexpensive price, then, whatever, can't really complain, right? She has like really big, exaggerated ears that stick out to the side. Right, so that still kind of looks like her, so I think it captures her essence. Now, like I said, what I was trying to say is that once you have drawn, for a while, especially when you kind of know your character, you know how things look, you find that you don't have to sketch as much to get the final result. A lot of it is going to be different than what you have, what you sketched. So just debating whether I want to kind of pull that up a little bit. Right, so if you look at her actual, how her face looks and stuff, none of these are too close up of her face, so we don't get a good idea what she looks like. But if you haven't looked at my comic End of All, you can. It's linked to it on my website as well. Just go to masterpaintingnow.com and you'll see End of All, or just go to endofallcomic.com, and both of those will lead you to the comic. The masterpaintingnow.com, you'll see a link at the top there to the comic. And hey, if you vote on it, if you like it, please vote on it, because the more votes I can get on it, then the more views it'll get on Top Web Comics. So yeah. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do some inking for those that are interested in how to ink. I'll give you some inking tips here. I think I'm going to go with this really super exaggerated look. So that's what I wanted. I really wanted to like she's like almost like straining. If I could, maybe I'd even put little blood vessels in her eyes, but with black and white, I don't know if that'd work out so well. I mean, it might, I don't know, like a couple. I have to go really thin. Come on the edge here like that. Just a few, you know, to show that she's really straining. And I think having the emoticons and stuff like that, and also maybe even surrounding. I'm going to have all of this right here, kind of really reflecting the fact that it's like energy. And I'll show you what I mean by that in Manga Studio. It's pretty easy to do. Now before I actually draw this on the thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I want to bring it over to the actual page. All right, so let's go ahead and paste this in here. As you can see, it's a lot bigger. And so we'll go ahead and resize this to where it's same size as her head here. I really just want to kind of change the face mainly, so something like that. I could have also, you know, just drawn over the face itself and just added the cheeks and all that kind of stuff. Mainly, I just wanted to show like how I can make it look like exaggerated. Matter of fact, I wasn't even going to use this. I was going to just draw right over this itself, which maybe I should show you how to do too. Pulling out the cheeks here and stuff, like sketching over this and giving it that same look that I want. So actually, let's go ahead and do that real quick here, and then I can also, if I wanted to, I can use this itself as well, and then put it right over to where it fits right onto the body and stuff. So if you want to do it that way, then what I'll do is I would take the page itself, and instead of using eraser, I'm going to use white. So I can use the airbrush, for example, and then just use white color, because that's how the background is white. All this is going to be changed. Like that. That's mainly what's going to be changed. So I'll change that first, then I can go in and change the eyes. I'm going to kind of draw her nose more like how I draw it. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is I'll show you another way to draw the lips. In this case, I'm like trying to keep the lips as cute as possible. But another way you can do it is make it to where the lips are really straining. So now they have more of like this kind of strained look here. And you can have a couple lines coming up like this. But from 3/4 view, it doesn't quite convey the emotion as much. So sometimes you got to exaggerate stuff. And actually, I like these lips right here. I think that looks really cool. And so I'm actually going to go with that, with those lips right there. Just kind of push them over a little bit, rather than having to redraw them. Almost like a fish face, you know. Now I can actually use this as a template even to draw over the drawing a little bit, but I have to be able to see what I'm looking at, the original. So that's the original. And then underneath, make sure I'm going like this. I'm just going to draw a little bit right here. Her eyes right there, so I'm going to have the cheek kind of come out like this. I don't want it to be too exaggerated. I don't know if I'm going to have it go underneath her hair. I think I'm going to maybe have it. I could have it puff outside of her hair and have her hair tucked behind her cheek, but then that makes it look less round, I think. So maybe I'll kind of stick with that being like that. And then I need to erase that, so I'm just going to go to white again. There we go. Back to black. A lot of this I don't really like either, so I'm going to erase all that for right now. Kind of give her that more cute little nose there. Right, so next is the eyes. That's the next challenge that we have to change. Now I have these gigantic, huge eyes. Now we can actually keep it more, true to her form here, I guess. I really like her ears to look more like this, so I'm going to kind of change that. He's obviously using some sort of program like DAZ Studio, and these are the typical elf ears or something like that to get the elf ears. And yeah, but hey, it is what it is, whatever. I'm not too worried about it. I don't have to pay very much for each page, and it makes sure that my comic gets finished, so. But I like your ears to look more like that. That's how I draw them. Some might argue that, well, yours look better the other way. That's fine. I also don't really like this whole style that he uses for the shading. I've asked him to try to shade it like I shade it, but hey, whatever. He's obviously used to that manga style but it's really the same exact thing, but instead of using, this as your undertone, you just use solid gray as your undertone. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where this is at. I think it might be a thing in Manga Studio, maybe something he downloaded, I'm not really sure. But I don't know where it's at. If it is in there, I haven't really looked through that stuff. I'm sure it's there. And here you can actually do one eye at a time if you wanted to. So we can focus on this eye first. Now I need the eyebrow to come up a lot higher, so I really want to exaggerate this. So I want the eyebrow to really come up higher here. I want to really convey that her eye is way open. Maybe we can add just a little bit like that. I'm just going to add her pupil here, and by doing that, yeah, it kind of gets rid of the character a little bit. Yeah, as is, no one can really do that face, but that's what's cool to me about comic books, is you can really exaggerate stuff like that. And now let's go ahead. Oops, I thought it was on white. Oh wait, actually I should probably keep that black, just go back and forth between black and white. So let's go ahead, take our eyebrow, we're going to lift that up. We'll lift it up here. Still kind of want her to have somewhat of a angry look to her, so I'm going to kind of pinch this in a little bit. Now let's go back to her eye here. I want to use all that space because I really want to exaggerate the eye. Oftentimes, in comics and in manga, you'll just draw right through the character, right through the hair and stuff, so that way the eyes aren't ever covered fully. And I might actually add just that little bit of part of the eyeball in there, like the actual eyeball. Now you can see it has that much more exaggerated look. And then, like I said, I'm not really sure. Let me see if I can find where that's at in manga. Yeah, so he might be using his own tone because I can't find it anywhere in screen tones here on Manga Studio. Nothing looks even close to what he's using there, so not really sure what he's using, but hey. Right, so far the closest thing I could find is under monochromatic, this wood, and then I have changed the angle to kind of match his angle, change the size. You can change the size by pulling this little rectangle here. And it seems to be maybe the closest thing that kind of matches his thing here. I'm trying to see if there's any other options I can do, like take off noise and stuff, but I'll keep looking. Right, so I'm going to leave it like that, and then you can just make another layer on top of it and then merge those two layers together, and now you have a layer you can work with. If you want, you can put. Now all you have to do really is just go to layer. We can make a mask over it. It's one way to do it. Layer mask, and we'll mask selection. I think that's no. We want to do it the other way around. Right, and then all we have to do is you work with the opposite color, and that's allow us to put that shading into there. Let's pick a pen here. Oops, I meant to work on this. There you go. So just add a little bit of shading here. And if if any of this is just a little bit too big, I'll show you a really cool thing. Like looks pretty close to what he had there, but not quite the same. I guess I could ask him, what does he use for when I have to make changes to keep it consistent. But that is pretty close. Then what you can do is you can take your airbrush tool and using the opposite color, you can start erasing. Oops, that is just, maybe I have to go to transparent on this program, yeah. And so now you can just kind of, this only gets rid of what I'm working on that layer. As you can see. I don't want her face too exaggerated with the shading. Sorry about that background noise, guys. Someone decided to start weed eating or something. All right, so that's pretty much it. We're done, and so now we have something that looks completely different than what I had before. Now we have this more exaggerated look on her face. This is page 51 of the comic, or yeah, 51 I think, or 50 of the comic, and the next page that will come out will be 51. Sometimes I miss a week or two because I get caught too busy on other stuff. But I am definitely, me and the artist and work together to get this finished. I should go through and correct all of her ears, but I just get so sick of having to do that. The whole point is for me not having to draw the comic. But this was just unacceptable, so I had to make it look like she was holding her breath. Right, now a couple other things we can do here really quickly, I guess, before we exit out of here, is we can make some cool things around her head here. So let's go to, I guess we can go back to materials. And there's cool different effect lines that have different kinds of energies to them. This energy is this energy is kind of cool. You just drag and drop it, and then you can change the size, the overall size of this effect here to fit into the, oops. Make sure you're still working on the same layers. Go out to layer here. We can stretch this to fit in that area we want. I don't want too much black. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Why? I want to move this layer. Okay, what I'm going to do is once I have the size, I'm just going to go to make a layer on top of it and then merge it down because it seems to not. What the hell? Oh, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Stay on that layer. That's the layer I want to move. Okay. That right there is kind of cool. It's pretty intense though, and so I'm not sure if I want that much, blocked out, that much energy to it. So maybe I'll use a different one. So let's go back here, maybe like this one, or even that one. I'll try this one. You can also make your own with using the ruler and stuff. So, oh come on, are you serious? Why? This is what I want to move. I think it's like, I think I'm not selecting it, it's like automatically selecting whatever it is I'm looking at. I have to click right on this to move it. Now I can always go and erase, some of this that I don't want. So an easy way to do this, one, is selecting the actual, what I want to be inside here. And then just go to selection and then invert selection, hit delete on the keyboard. I'll make sure you have that layer. Oh, I guess maybe I'll go ahead and put this as a. Okay, hold on a second. Let me unselect that first. Let me go ahead and merge this down to rasterize it to be a layer. So this is an easy way to rasterize the layer. Bam. Select invert selected area. Hit delete on the keyboard. Gets rid of it. And then now I can zoom in here, and I can take my airbrush tool. And I'm going to leave on transparent. This is how I like to turn the airbrush into an eraser. You can turn anything into eraser by just having it be on transparent. Right, so I want just the edges like that to be like that. I don't want all inside of her body or anything. Right, and that kind of adds the energy, just adds a little bit of energy. Then I want to add a few of those marks. So just in case I don't like it, I'll make a new layer. And we can just add a couple little marks like here. And that's too much. Let's just go out here now. I want them to be nice and straight lines, so let's go like here. I want to kind of do the lines differently than what the background lines are. I'm just testing different areas I can put the lines. Maybe make this even more of a circle. Go smaller brush here. We can add just a couple, just see what it looks like. I don't think it's going to work. No, that looks it's too, if it was a much bigger picture panel, then that might work. And that dot was supposed to, I'm not wearing my gloves right now that I usually wear when I draw on this thing, so I don't actually make dots like that. Now I know what layer it's on. Okay, I think it's on this one. And we'll go, oh, got to use white. Okay. And there you have it, folks. So that's how you can draw a face that is blown up. Basically, just and exaggerate. Just imagine the cheeks and where they puff up at. The cheeks don't start at the chin, So just really quickly here to recap, let's just do a face from the front view here. And that's like way exaggerated compared to what I did. I'm kind of glad I decided just to kind of change what was already there, so it doesn't look too exaggerated. I think that might look a little too cartoony, too exaggerated. But anyway. All right, so let's see here. Let's just move over. We'll just move down here like that. Right, now when we're drawing, you have a head here. Just basic shape of a head. Now, if you have the eyes, somewhere, this would be the eyebrows. If you have the eyes somewhere in here, I like using the rhombus. Wow, I actually remember the freaking name of that shape. The eye's a little too far out, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, if I take that same measurement here, place it here, I'm not going to quite have it. So what I can do, which is cool, I don't like having to redraw or sketch things. So this right here saves time in Manga Studio. I mean, if you're going to use the digital, you might as well use all of the, the awesomeness you can use of it, all the shortcuts and everything. Take advantage of it. Right, and somewhere here is going to be the mouth. And we can just add very basic lip structure here. Add some like Michelle Pfeiffer type French people's lips. A lot of French have these type of lips right here. Make the mouth slightly open, bottom lip. All right, so the cheeks, this right here is the eye, right? That's part of the eye. This comes up, that's part of the skull and forehead right here. All right, so that's all fixed. Now, if you think about the skull, the underlining skull, it comes down like that and go to your, that's your cheekbone, and it comes down to your teeth. Then you have the lower jaw bone, which comes down, right? If you think about that, you have fat tissue that builds up, and you have the nose here. So it's just kind of, oops, what am I doing? Let's draw just a very basic shape of a nose here, so give her kind of a bigger nose. Right? Very short nose right now. You have these lines right here. Now the line, you have that smile line that comes right here. That line right there is, all this right here is fat tissue. All right here, it kind of builds up. And you have the skin underneath the eye right here. Right, so that's a kind of a piece of skin that puffs out just a little bit and gets dark, like me. I don't know why my eyes have always been that way. Something runs in the family. Right, so that's the basic structure. And if you think about that, you can have fat tissue that builds up here, right? And a little bit, not so much down here, but right here is where you typically get fat in the face, right? Now when you blow, all this right here, the muscle comes down like this. All this right here, you can blow up and fill out with air. And that's it. You can't really blow anything else out. You can fill up this right here a little bit if you really press out. And so really from right about here, from right about the lip start outward, right, all right here, this is where you can kind of fill up with air. Right, that's the part you can fill. That's the cheek. That's the part that typically gets, gets fat. Now, if you want to make it look like the person isn't fat, but has this kind of, air in their face, you would just draw the face like you normally would. So have everything else be normal for your character. Okay, oh, I don't know. See, my hand is making stuff happen over here. I'm not meaning to do that. Ah, man, come on. Alright, so let's go ahead and make her chin here. It's because I don't have my gloves on. They're right over there. I should just put them on real quick, but... And my character doesn't have that long of a chin, so I'm going to... She's more cartoonish, so she has more of a chin like this. Right now, I can exaggerate this as far out as I want, and then if I add just little bits right there, I can really make it look like her face is really full of air here. But if you just have the lips normal, it doesn't look right. So you have to think about, well, how do people look when they make these kinds of faces? They might have more, of a, more of a straight line, You can make it simple like that. You can also, use a kind of a cartoon effect here. You don't have to stick true all the time. You can make it more straight line so it looks more like, like they're mad or whatever. Right? You can add just a little bit of a bloom like that. And that right there fits into the, and then have her eyes like this. So notice I didn't actually add, all the rest of the eyeball to my character. You don't have to do that when you're drawing this kind of exaggerated stuff. And so you can take some cues from some modern comics and especially manga and go, hey, you know what? I don't have to like make everything. Why? Okay, my hand's creating all kinds of stuff over here. All right, I'm gonna at least put my right glove on. Just give me a second here. That way my hand doesn't keep making stuff happen over here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So when you're drawing your character, you don't have to stay true to the real lifeness even of your comic. So obviously if you're drawing a comic, you're probably not drawing it completely realistic. But you don't even have to like stick to the rules. No, I'm not even on a color. There we go. You don't have to stick to the rules of your comic. Like your character, you can really exaggerate things and make it go out of character. I'll give you a good example. Teen Titans Go. So in Teen Titans Go, they took I think a good cue from anime, and that is, so sometimes they'll have these just crazy looks on their face that doesn't fit the cartoon style itself. It's almost as if the cartoon style changes. And you'll see that a lot in manga and anime where the character has a certain look that's throughout the comic or throughout the manga, which is this Japanese comic. And when they make a certain crazy face, sometimes everything changes, right? Like all of a sudden, maybe Beast Boy's mouth will be like, have these crazy teeth like this, or, what's her name? And they'll like have it all like, just make it really fast. But all of a sudden, and her mouth will be hugely, wide open, whatever, where it's just totally unrealistic. And I forget her name, Raven, I think it is. Anyway, so you can do that. You can exaggerate these types of things sometimes for certain effect, for emotions. Now, typically with the real face, also right here, the cheek kind of puffs up and out like this, kind of has this kind of S curve right here. But, I can exaggerate this because I'm doing comic, right? Now with the face here, you can have it where you have the typical kind of look like this, where the mouth's kind of like this and it comes down, right? And their lips up like this. Depends how big of upper lip they have. But anyway, the lip kind of comes down like this. And then it might come down like this to a point. So they're kind of like, really trying to, you might have a couple like little stretch marks, you can have like this, whatever. Anyway, so that's how you can get that look. Now obviously this head's huge. The head wouldn't be that big. Hairline would fall in somewhere like this, and then that just gives an idea of like where I want things to happen. Have the hair come down like that, and I would want the hair out of the face in this case. I'd want it kind of being pulled to the side. That's as high as the hair would be right there. Then I would have the neck still be the same, right? Obviously that looks nothing like my character because I wasn't trying to draw my character at this point. Right now I'm just trying to draw this exaggerated cheek line. And then you can also make it to where they have like a really kind of like almost fish face look to their lips. So let's go ahead and do that real quick here. And all of this helps sell the overall look that you're going for. So you can really exaggerate this right here. Let's really bring this down like this. This is as if, you know, hey, I'm really trying to hold in my my breath here. Let's have the bottom lip really squished like this here. So kind of like fish lip look. You know, and that kind of gives the idea that they're really trying to, you know, they're trying hard to push their face. So, all right. One other thing you can do that might fit the character that you're working with is you can add like air into the mouth itself as well. In this case, you're going to kind of have the lip kind of, the middle line is kind of like this, like they're really trying hard to keep their mouth shut. And in cartoon wise, it might be kind of hard to pull this off, but because it ended up looking more like it's like a blank face, but it really comes to having a lot of wrinkles, like with the real person. They have a lot of wrinkles in here. They have a wrinkle over here, and so it ends up not looking, you know, all the lip becomes wrinkled right here. Then it'd have like a this right here, and then the cheeks actually come all the way down here and start developing like that. But it ends up not looking realistic the way you try to, like, you know, puff the air like that. Then it kind of transitions. But I don't know. I think it's sometimes you have to, you know, go with what works with the cartoon, because real life doesn't always translate to cartoon well because of the way real life is shaded and things like that. But you can get sort of a look to where that's where they're pushing more of the air in the bottom of their cheeks than in the top of their cheek. But notice now, even still, it's like I have a hard time here trying to, you know, make this happen, and you might have to kind of go like that or something. But that kind of, you know, mouth just doesn't really work for me. But you can try to, you know, make it work. But anyway. All right, hopefully that helps, guys, on figuring out how to draw this exaggerated thing. Unfortunately, there's really nothing out there for how to draw this. That's why I decided to go more in depth in this video. I was just going to keep it like at 7 minutes, which, you know, was just a very beginning sketch. But I went over, you know, how to kind of ink it a little bit too, how it fits in the context of a comic when you're done with it, so you can kind of see the finished look of it. But I also want to just kind of go over some other ideas about a little bit about the anatomy of the cheeks and how they kind of work, so you can kind of do it on your own. So when you're thinking about your own character, you can draw it having this exaggerated kind of air in the face. And I was actually going to just show him an example. Like here's an example of what I'm thinking about, and have him just redraw that panel really fast. But I couldn't find anything out there. Like nothing. There was nothing on it at all. Like it was hard to even find references. I can find a few human references like on Google. But even then, it was just like not quite what I was looking for. I really wanted this exaggerated cartoon look, and I couldn't find anything. I know I've seen it in anime, I've seen it in manga. I just couldn't find anything with my search terms. I'm like, damn, I have nothing to show him. And I guess I could have just done a quick sketch and say, here, do it. But at that point, I'm already drawing. And I figured, you know what, that would make a good YouTube video because there's nothing out there on it. You know, so you know, I was like, let me check real fast. I searched YouTube for anything about how to draw a person holding their breath, how to draw anything like I did different key terms, and nothing shows up. So maybe there's not a big demand for it. That's why it's not there. So maybe this video will get like hardly no views. But I was like, hey, you know what? I should do it because no one else has that tutorial out there. So hopefully, when someone's actually searching YouTube, my video will show up when they're searching for, you know, how to draw to hold your breath or something. And all right, so yeah, that's it. I guess another thing you could do is you could like with the mouth, as a last thing here, you could like just do, you know, like a circle, and you can even kind of like that, so that, you know, just kind of show like they're really holding their breath. It just depends on how much of the character you want to retain, how exaggerated you want to go with it. Now, of course, the eyes and stuff don't reflect at all what I was drawing. I was just kind of doing a placement of the eyes there, and so you can really exaggerate the eyes as well. You can really just go crazy with it and get like, you know, really big eyes. And let's kind of push this part up here like that again and have it like that. And then just have the pupils, and that's it. So now we have this really exaggerated look. And if you still want to add, you know, the makeup to the eye to make it have that female character, you can. And now you have this really exaggerated look, and then you can add the lips I had in there. Add the other lips back. I kind of like that that kind of fish look, kind of, where the lips kind of came down like that. And one thing cool about comics, you don't have to like complete all lines either. Sometimes it looks better when you don't. And now that, you know, you can even make that even more squishy if you want to, but now it's like the person's like really, you know, pushing the air out of their breath, pushing the air into their cheeks rather. You can come down here even further if you wanted to, and really make it crazy. It all depends on how, you know, crazy you want it. And so some people are like, well, I don't want my character to look ugly or something like that, you know. And doing something like this is going to make your character look. It's going to make your character look different. But you know, if you don't want to make it that extreme, you know, you don't have to. So you can go much less extreme with it and try to retain your character more. You know, by just not going quite as far out with, you know, how much air is in the mouth. You can even go less than that. You know, it's really up to you on how much of the character you want to distort. So if you wanted to keep it more like true, you can just kind of bring a little bit of air into it here. You can even do the kind of S curve here. It kind of just comes up like that. You know, now the person's not holding as much air in their cheeks. But that doesn't really give that, you know, exaggerated look that I was going for. I was really going for this look here where the person's like, I'm going to hold my breath until I pass out, and then this is supposed to be her passed out. I really wanted a close-up of her face, just smashed face down into the you know, food. Like I wanted the face just like maybe a side view would be the best view, and I wanted it just straight flattened, you know, and this is the food, and have it kind of bundled up some food pieces here and there, right, and then have the plate of food, whatever. I really wanted it like that, and just have her face just stuck in there, and I don't know, her hair is doing whatever, it's kind of stuck like that, side of her ear, whatever, you get the idea. But I really wanted, that's what I really wanted, just like her face is just stuck in the food, you know, and she's just totally just passed out. Maybe even, you know, show a little bit of her body, and a little bit of the table or something like that. But I mainly wanted this image really there to where her face is in the food. And then the last panel, you know, the way I wrote it is that when she's up again, it's supposed to show her face more close, and I wanted like food on her face. And it's really easy to draw food in the face. I was going to do it is, let's say she's back to normal, whatever, and I was just going to have like a design like this, you know, the couple little patches like that, and then just have them like shaded in, being a different color, the same shading that he uses, you know, like that, food on her face. It's not that hard. I don't get it. So unfortunately, I think my person really only knows how to trace and stuff rather than actually draw, but that's fine. I mean, the comic still gets out and it still looks cool, so nothing really to claim out there for the price. Alrighty, folks, that's it. I was just trying to think if there's anything else I can talk about, but I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, now it's gone on for 44 minutes, and I think I've taught a lot of stuff, right? Hopefully, for being such a long video, hopefully I taught some stuff here. I tend to sometimes on these videos just to chillax and just kind of, you know, I don't know, take my time and talk about different stuff. When it comes to my courses now, though, they're really on it, you know. You've seen those example ones of the gesture drawing. Those are actual lessons from my gesture drawing course. You can see I just get right to the point. I don't lollygag around. But these are free, so, you know, free videos are free videos. I'm not gonna take my time editing and all that. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Please visit my website, masterpaintingnow.com, for my courses if you want to check them out and for more free tutorials. And also, if you want to learn how to grow pot cheaply and how to just grow good pot in general, I have the world record right now for the largest yielding autoflower at 2.95 pounds for one plant. And that's growpotcheaply.com. Also, I invented the most powerful LED light in the world. I have video evidence of that on the site, on the Black Diamond Perfect Sun XL. So yeah, I mean, I figured what the hell, hardly anyone probably watched it to the end. So if you're offended by marijuana, oh well.